All right, so you guys know, or if you don't know, the way I like to make videos whenever I'm sitting down like this and talking is I like to just kind of go off of whatever I'm thinking in the moment. I don't do scripts. I don't sit here and read something off of a Word document or whatever the case may be, because I like things to kind of flow organically, if that makes any sense. Not saying that those who do write scripts, their stuff isn't organic or how they feel, but I'm a big fan of it just feeling real and natural, and that's kind of how I've always structured my content. Um, excuse me. So today I want to talk about Xbox. I want to talk about Xbox and a little bit about Redfall, and I want to. I've noticed this trend, and I just feel like I got to get things off my chest about this topic. Now, I've been an Xbox fan since like Xbox, the first big old chunky console, and I want to say the first game I got was like Halo Combat Evolved. Back then I wasn't really into those types of games, so I didn't play it much, but I was very well aware of how good Halo was, and I've always liked the Xbox. Now, I will say that come the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One era, I fell off very hard. Everything they were talking about with the Xbox One just did not appeal to me. It just did not sound like anything that I wanted, and I don't have to go into it. We all know the story. But what I really wanted to get into today was the topic of this generation. And I don't want to harp too much on the past, but I do think it's worth acknowledging because it kind of tells us how we got here. So with the Xbox Series S and X, this was the beginning of a new generation. This was a new turning point, or seemed to be a new turning point for Xbox. And we all know that Xbox's biggest problem, the running meme is Xbox ain't got no games, or Xbox this, Xbox that, as far as delivering quality first party title games like PlayStation has done. And I really feel like last generation, they didn't do that good of a job. Let's just be honest. They did put out some good games, but compared to Sony, it's night and day. And I feel like that really hurt them, because I feel like last generation is where a lot of people built their digital library. It's where a lot of people have gotten introduced into gaming, because gaming is bigger now than it ever has been before. And I feel like the last generation, it really grew. The PlayStation 4 is a monster as far as how successful it's been. And I feel like a lot of people really built their digital library in that generation. And moving on over, you kind of naturally, like, people want to continue where they left off, and a lot of people seen the success of the PlayStation 4 and figured I might as well just get a PS5. And the reason why is because of the solid quality first party games. And Xbox has been struggling there. They have. And with this new generation, we are all hoping, I don't want to say we're hoping as if it just won't happen, but we're still sort of hoping to see that push, that avalanche, that rush, that consistency of quality first party games. And the pandemic was a big one. I think the pandemic, when it hit, it got so many people into gaming. So many people went out and bought a PS4 or an Xbox or whatever the case may be, because we were all at home. Everybody just needed something to do. And I feel like with this generation, Xbox is just lacking. Their 2020, which was the year of the pandemic, I know we gotta give a certain break somewhere in there because it was a wild time. A lot of things in game development changed, but it was a good year as far as what they announced. They showed us a future. Xbox has done a really poor job up until 2020 to show us a future for the platform. And we got to see a lot of things like Fable. We got to see Avowed, which is from Obsidian. We've got to see, I'm drawing blanks already, Halo Infinite. We just got to see a lot of games. We got to see a future of what the first party lineup will look like. Granted, a lot of those games, hold on. Excuse me. A lot of those games did not necessarily they didn't have release dates. Some of them did, some of them didn't, and that was an issue, but at least we got to see. We didn't even get a release window for some of those games, but we at least got to see a future. And you know, like I said, when the pandemic hit, it was crazy. You know, obviously they shipped the Xbox Series X or S and X, and we were supposed to get Halo Infinite with that console. What happened? We didn't get it. Halo Infinite got delayed, and it's crazy because I'm gonna compare them to Sony, and I don't want this to come off as like a Xbox hate video, because I love Xbox, I love PlayStation, I love every platform. I'm a gamer through and through. I don't even have to give my accolades because I've been gaming since I was 3. Okay, and I'm almost 30 now. Like I am a gamer through and through. But when you look at the lineup of when the pandemic happened, right around the time the new consoles came out, the Xbox Series S and X and the PlayStation 5, the PlayStation 5 launched with Astro's Playroom, okay, Demon Souls, Destruction All-Stars, which admittedly I heard was not that good, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Spider-Man Miles Morales Ultimate Edition, which came with Spider-Man Remastered, Sackboy Big Adventure, and let's also touch on, these were not these were not day one releases for the platform, but in that same year, we also got Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us Part 2, all of which were those two games were Game of the Year contenders. One of them actually won Game of the Year. So you can see Sony, they got this cadence down. And it's like for Xbox, we're constantly sitting here saying, just wait till next year. Wait till next year. At what point do we get to this cadence? Okay, keep in mind, this was during a pandemic. They got Sackboy: A Big Adventure, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Spider-Man PlayStation 5 Remastered, Demon Souls, Astro's Playroom. Astro's Playroom was pre-installed on the PlayStation 5, and it is a game that literally shows you why you should own a PlayStation 5. I mean, come on. Like, you can't... It's like the pandemic was an excuse for everyone. But when you look at what Sony delivered in the middle of this pandemic, come on. At what point do we get it together? You can't cling on to the COVID excuse. You know, Xbox has made all of these acquisitions, and we're waiting to really see the fruits of those labors. Now, granted, we did get Hi-Fi Rush. That game reviewed excellently. It was a great game. I enjoy it. But outside of that, we're getting games, but it just seems like it's at such a snail's pace. Halo Infinite came out. It was great, but what was the problem? It lacked content long term, and it lost a lot of its player base. Unfortunately, that's just, it is what it is. But PlayStation has this thing mapped down. Now, I will say PlayStation so far has had a pretty dry year. I mean, they haven't really delivered that much. If we're being honest, like a Horizon DLC, which admittedly for me wasn't all that great. It wasn't bad by no stretch of the imagination, but you know, it's just a DLC at the end of the day. It was not a full game. But it just seems like Xbox's output is just at a snail's pace, and now they're in the middle of this whole Activision Blizzard thing, and it just makes you think, like, where are the efforts going exactly? I'm not saying there is a lack of effort, but where is the consistency? Where is the I guess the communication on a lot of things? And again, it always feels like wait till next year, wait till next year. I mean, I remember last year when because the thing is, Xbox started off great. I mean, they acquired Bethesda, and you know, that sparked up so much hype in and of itself, because you're aware. And I mean, I guess some people are a big fan of Bethesda, some people aren't. I personally love all their games, but that was a big thing, because now we're saying, like, yo, is Starfield going to be exclusive? Is the next Elder Scrolls? Fallout? You see the catalog, you know the pedigree. It's enough to get someone excited and to invest into the Xbox ecosystem. But the problem with that is you can only keep people excited for so long if you're not delivering games. I'm happy with these acquisitions as a consumer, but I'm not seeing the fruits of those labors, and that's sort of the problem. And it just feels like the consistency just isn't there. It's like I said, it always feels like wait till next year. I mean, last year we were, you know, they did the whole games coming out within the next 12 months, and here it is, as I'm recording this video, May the 4th, not May 4th, May the 4th, 2023, and I have still not played Starfield. Like, what is going on? Why can't we meet these deadlines? I understand Starfield is a very big game, but that game's been delayed, what, 2 or 3 times? It was supposed to come out the November of last year, and now here we are. They said before it was early 2023, and we're at the midway point of 2023, and we still haven't played it. And it just, it's frustrating because there are people like myself who have invested hundreds, and other people who've probably invested thousands of dollars. I mean, I probably have at this point because I've been gaming for so long. But in this generation alone, I'm gonna just specifically talk about this generation. It feels like I've invested so much money into this platform, but you've given me so little reason to believe that I made a good investment. It is what it is. Xbox does a lot of things right as far as communication, making everything feel, I guess, community-like, and they have made some very good games. I still love Halo Infinite. I still love Hi-Fi Rush. I love the Bethesda catalog. I love some of their other first-party games, State of Decay 2. There's good Gears of War. Hellblade. I'm looking forward to all of these games, but you gotta give me something. You gotta give me something that's going to get me excited. And it's not even so much as announce something. I need to be playing these games. And it's crazy that they've been in development for so long, and it just doesn't feel like we're getting any output. We're not hearing anything. It just seems so weird. And I'm sorry to keep kind of harping back to this expression, but the wait till next year thing just keeps happening every year. I mean, granted, the first half of this year for Xbox has been good. I will not lie. Their output has been great. But it all comes down to, we need more of that. We need more consistency, more of the first party stuff. Now, Redfall, the game didn't review well. It's sort of a mixed bag in some cases. I like the game personally. Where I'm at, I'm like maybe close to 10 hours in. The fact that that game launched without 60 frames per second, when all of the advertising has been 60 frames per second, that is a problem. When has a Sony game ever done that? When? Can someone, like, I mean, seriously, I want someone in the comments, can you please tell me one Sony game from last generation to this generation? Show me one Sony game that's reviewed like that. Now, granted, I know Sony's had some duds here and there, but there's so few far in between that you can't even remember them. Like, again, Destruction All-Stars. I heard that game was trash. I never played it personally, but I heard it wasn't that good. But again, that game is so far down the rabbit hole, you probably didn't even know about it till just now. But show me a Sony game, even just this generation, that has reviewed like that. It just seems like Xbox always find themselves in this rut that is just so unique to the patterns that they developed of delaying games, a lack of communication, a lack of consistency, a lack of consistent first-party output. And you just gotta wonder, when does this stop? I'm not saying that Phil Spencer needs to be fired. I don't think he's the problem at all. He's actually the best thing at Xbox right now. But I do wonder what is going on, because Sony doesn't have these issues. Nintendo's a little dry on their first party games, I'm not even gonna lie. But again, I mean, just where are we going? You know, what is the problem? What is happening? It just seems like there's something's really wrong there, and that needs to be rectified, because it is a bit of a mess over there at Team Xbox. I love them, but man, this is crazy. And you know, we have this Xbox and Bethesda showcase coming up, and it's like, what am I gonna get excited for? Games that I'm gonna see that I haven't seen for 3 or 4 years with no release date? I mean, I'm not saying it's gonna be a dud, because their last showcase was actually awesome, but I just need to see something. Show me why I need to be invested in this platform. Show me. I need to see it, because right now you're not giving me much. And I mean, I could make the same argument for PlayStation, but they have given me consistency. Granted, like I said, this year has been a little dry, but they are known for quality first party output. Xbox, unfortunately, they're not on the same level. I'm not saying all of their games release like Redfall and they're broken, they need more time in the oven, but more of their games come out more finished, complete, and they generally review very well. And we just need that on Team Xbox. We need more consistency. because it's not good. It's really not good. So yeah, that was really